The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right, let's go. Sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. We do it each and every day. At the end of the segment, we'll give out a prize because we can. Beef, what are we handing out today?
Oh, we're going to make someone's day on this cold day. Go get a nice, delicious hot lunch at Woody's Barbecue with $25 on us.
All right, lots of stuff going on in the world of sports. Last night around 6 o'clock, Derek Jeter gets into the Hall of Fame along with Larry Walker. Only a two-man class, plus the other two guys from Marvin Miller and Ted Simmons, I believe, are the other two who were voted in by the Veterans Committee. Jeter, not unanimous, 99.7%. We've made way too big a deal out of that. Baseball writers, on MLB Network, Peter Gammons and Jason Stark say, don't make this a witch hunt searching for. I'm like, why not? If you didn't vote for Derek Jeter, come out and say why you didn't vote for Derek Jeter.
How about this? I have a little bit different perspective. How about if you didn't vote for Derek Jeter, you don't get to vote anymore? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't. These Hall of Fame voters and these liberties they take with determining for any and everyone who's who and what's what is annoying to me. And I got more news for you, too. The same 300 guys, 9 years in a row, all put their ballots in, never thought that Larry Walker was not just not a Hall of Famer, never thought Larry Walker was anywhere near a Hall of Famer. The most, you have to get 75%. The most he ever got was 54%. And now here, 1 year later, after 9 years of the peaking at 54%, now he's a Hall of Famer. It's illogical to be tame. It's just an illogical process.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think maybe they learn more as the years go by. Maybe they hear the arguments. I don't know what it is, but Larry Walker did make it. He played here in Jacksonville. He's a great player. I don't have a problem with Larry Walker being in the Hall of Fame, but you could make an argument. It makes it more of the Hall of Very Good, not the Hall of Fame. But Larry Walker was pretty good, but clearly helped out a little bit by the Colorado air. I'll say that because he did pile up some big stats out there in Colorado and probably opens the door for some of those other former Rocky players like Todd Helton. So we shall see. But only two get voted in. I was thinking about this, everybody, and I've been guilty of this myself with this Antonio Brown situation, saying, man, somebody's got to get him some help. But the bottom line is, I'm sure somebody's tried. Many people have tried. If you don't accept the help and you think there's nothing wrong, then you're not going to get the help. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, if you have a family member who needs help and you want to get them some help and you try to get them some help, they won't take the help, then what can you do?
Well, and it's important in this story, not just the victim, not, social media, not regular media. Police say Antonio and his trainer beat the guy up. That's what police say, not they just haven't found Antonio Brown yet.
It was a guy who was bringing stuff to his house, and something happened. And
with Antonio Brown, who knows what? Maybe
they arrested the trainer.
Maybe he farted in his face stand. Maybe the list of things that Antonio Brown has done to diminish and demean people is a long one.
That's not good. It's not a good situation.
If you read the SI and how he's treated people who've come to his house to do services or doctors, he's just a pig when it comes to that kind of thing. So
I would
who
take
knows
a pass.
what would have led to it?
I would take a pass if I was asked to deliver something to Antonio Brown's house.
I wouldn't either. But Brown is a suspect in the alleged incident. The driver says that he and his trainer battered him. The trainer has already been arrested. The criminal investigation continues. The trainer, Glenn Holt, charged with one count of felony burglary and battery. He's been booked into jail. Brown had hired the moving truck to bring some of his belongings to Hollywood. The disturbance broke out then. A Hollywood policeman said Brown was at the home with
Hollywood
at
Florida
at the time of the incident. But when they tried to make contact, he was gone for the day. So, there you go. We'll see what happens from here. But, just another look. See Antonio Brown cross the street, man. I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Might want to just cross the street. Just head on over there. Look, last night's Florida Gator game is the kind of game that in the big picture doesn't matter if you play like you did and win a lot of games moving forward. Now, in other words, a close loss versus a close win last night at the end of the day is not – it may mean one line on the seed line when you get to tournament time if you can follow that up and play winning basketball here down the stretch. And by winning basketball, I mean get to 20 wins, pick up a win over a Kentucky or a Baylor or a ranked team.
Well, the Gators are 1-4 in those quad one games, I guess, and had a big opportunity against LSU. A great rally down the stretch, man. They were bombing threes. They shot well last night. The defense wasn't very good, and they lost by 2. Had a chance to tie twice, and both times came up short. Scotty Lewis slipped. Foot went out of bounds. He somehow got the ball back and had a beautiful drawn-up inbounds play that resulted in a layup, but it was about as close as you can be. I almost thought that if I looked at the clock on top of the backboard, I thought he got it off and out of his hands. But if I looked at that red light square, I thought he didn't. That's how close it was.
And I also think that just a little bit of home cooking. That clock started just a little bit before it got to his hands. But
I thought it was a little bit gutless by the officials not to give it to him, but that's just me, and I'm biased. Look, Dave Caldwell has told the team website that a deal for free agent pass rusher Jan Ngakoue should come together, quote, hopefully relatively easy.
Then Jan put out some of his cryptic text that wouldn't indicate the process will be that smooth.
Don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you hear. I'm only guessing on this with Jan because I don't know about this part. He's kept it to himself. But my guess is this. He played this year for $2 million, right? So I'm guessing he wants to recoup some of those dollars lost and have that added into the deal, which, again, I don't know where the Jaguars are in terms of paying Yannick Ngakoue. So it's going to be interesting. I would tend to agree with Jan, though, if he's not an interested party, and it seems by all his cryptic messages on social media, he's not that interested in re-signing with this football team.
Well, it seems that way. And that, by the way, that is an option if you don't want to go, franchise tag that'll play out. I mean, we saw that with Allen Robinson. He didn't want to play here. I mean, a lot of people took the time and the charm to go ahead and blame Coughlin for that one, too. He didn't want to play here because of Blake Bortles. That's fact.
Yeah.
So Allen Robinson wasn't going to sign here. Yeah, you could have franchised him, I guess.
Yeah.
But keeping your best players isn't always easy.
Jan knows if he hits free agency, he's going to get more money, I think, than if he signs here.
And if you are,
I think that's a fact because we always overpay for free agents.
And if you're the Jaguars, and I know Jaguar fans,
and Yannick Ngakoue, although we can sit here and break down his game and say, well, he's a little short in this, he's a little short in that. Make no mistake, a 24-year-old would be highly coveted as a free agent.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, here's the deal, though, and I know a lot of Jaguar fans out there want to move heaven and earth to make sure you keep Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Was Josh Allen last year as good as Ngakoue?
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much he costs? Point being, if you can get a defensive end with a 9th pick who's going to be Josh Allen good, it does not make sense to pay your other defensive end $22 million. $20 million, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that franchising Yannick Ngakoue or paying him, an average of over $20 million a year is the best thing long term. Now, that's hard to hear when you're in the shape that the Jaguars are, where you can't afford to lose good players.
Well, and part of this now is, and I think this is a problem with the Jaguars franchise, and I don't know that it's obviously not true. So, but there appears to be some sort of win now edict, and the pressure to win immediately. And if you don't, heads are going to roll. Well, that was there last year, and heads didn't roll. So I would be more of the ilk of what's best long-term for this franchise in terms of building us to where we can be a perennial playoff team. That's got to be the goal.
And look, here's the problem, or the reality. They'll let Jan go in order to get their free agent, an A.J. Boy or something. They'll pay him that kind of money.
Yeah.
And then you just stay. So your point is valid if you really stick to that.
Yeah.
If you take the $20 million a year that you were going to give Yannick Ngakoue and you really fashioned into a lot more value for that $20 million. But do you trust these guys to do that? The fans don't. And understandably so. Mm-hmm. Because the fans have watched them mess it up at just about every turn for 20 years.
Yeah. No, I get it. But anyway, so interesting stuff. There was a big brawl in college basketball last night, Kansas and K-State. This cat, D'Souza, picked up a stool, was wielding a stool, which is not a good look. The Kansas State player stole the ball. Nothing mattered. The bottom line is you can't turn this into an all-out brawl. It was a bad look, and Kansas is, I don't think Bill Self is going to be at KU much longer. I really don't. I think with all the investigation that went on and Kansas being implicated, and now this, I think we're getting closer to the end for Bill Self than the beginning. And I think that, to me, I would throw out a name for KU to go get, and that would be the guy in Oklahoma City.
Billy Donovan.
Move down the road there. And Bill Self's done a great job at Kansas. I think he's won one natty. Does that sound right? One?
It's at least one. I think it's one.
One?
Yeah, they beat, UCLA, right?
Yeah, I just get the feeling, though, that this one's not going to – I mean, he's been there since 2003, Jeff. So 17 years. One national championship. He's been to the tournament every year, obviously. Round of 32 last year, Final Four, Elite Eight, round of 32, Sweet 16, runner-up, Elite Eight, round of 32, Sweet 16, Natty, Elite Eight, round of 64, Elite Eight. So, anyway, it'll be interesting to see what comes down today as a result of – is this the worst basketball brawl we've seen since the Malice in the Palace?
I thought it was despicable, and some people are underselling it. The brawl wasn't that bad. When you go into the stands at a college game, especially seating that's there for disabled people, with no regard for anyone,
and the look on the fans'
terrible.
eyes, it was bad.
It's fright.
Bad situation.
If I were I would suspend both teams for the rest of the year. Your season's over.
Oh,
I mean, what? Okay, what happens if a fan, very easily, by the way, could have happened, did die in that scenario yesterday? What if a fan takes one in the temple? Everyone's sorry today?
Yeah.
Emotions run hot. I mean, we're at the end of the game. I got some Kansas fan earlier on the text line who literally is minimizing it. Well, they were just bouncing out the clock and the other team stole the ball. Yes, so? You're up 20. Let him score. Or go block it like you did, but no needs to stand over the guy and taunt him and chirp at him. It was very the whole thing was very untoward.
All right, that's what is going on in the sports world. We'll come back, talk some more Jaguars. Dave Caldwell is out at the Senior Bowl. What are they going to do? What are they looking for? Much more ahead right here on the Drill Brunch with a Tour at the bottom of the hour. Lots of stuff still ahead. We'll do caller number 2, Beef, at 641-1010. Tell them what they're getting.
Caller number 2 right now, 641-1010. Going to take home $25 to enjoy at Woody's Barbecue. 641-1010.